Welcome, everyone, on this beautiful, glorious Saturday. It's still about 11:30 where Showtime and I are. Um, and I guess we got a really good show for you. Without further ado, let's hit that music.
Clear for takeoff.
That's all systems go. Move that AFW logo up. Stat.
You're watching the AFW Network.
I am, of course, the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I am Brother Canada Dry. And this is my co-host for today. Introduce yourself.
Thank you, Brother Cat of the Drive. Thanks for having
I like this better. It's a little too close.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Cat of the Drive, for having me on. And thank you for sending somebody from the church to drop me off a little package today to try live on air. Much appreciated.
It came.
It did come. I got the knock on the door, but I didn't get a chance to thank the guy. They ran away. They ran away as soon as possible.
They ran away into the shadows.
And they did. It just disappeared into the abyss.
Well, with that being said, blessed be the drink, Brother Showtime.
The prototype. Blessed be the drink. That's very tasty.
What's the flavor of this drink?
So it tastes a little watermelonish to me, Brother Cat of the Dry. It's tasty. It's tasty. Good prototype.
Now, I heard you jump the fence last night and went on a bit of a drinking bender.
Yes, I wasn't going to miss Ari Shafir for the world, so I did scale the fence last night. And let's just say I drank a copious amount of liquor that probably should be wiping me out for the next couple of days.
Well, we do not encourage this.
No.
There's forgiveness, but Brother Sheriff will be speaking to you.
I expect a fine and a stern talking to later today.
Yes. But that being said, church drink is also good for hangovers.
It's helping me right now. It's literally getting me into a little bit of a normal state instead of a zombie state like it was a few minutes ago.
Now, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I've lost quite a bit of weight.
Looking good.
Thank you very much. I lost 15 pounds since Christmas. And I owe it all to church drink.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear, Brother Canada Dry.
Blessed be the drink.
Blessed be the drink.
All right, let's get into stuff here. Let's look at the schedule we have to talk about today. I'm just gonna. So our main topic point is Scamanda. Now, for those who don't know, tell them a bit about Scamanda. Just a brief, like, what's going on with this.
Yeah, without giving out too many spoilers for our show later. She was pretty much a woman that faked cancer and got herself rich and had a lot of people brainwashed on her journeys over the years.
Hey, Matt. Blessed be the drink. So yeah, we'll be talking about that. We're gonna have the Shane in with some sports.
Pretty amazing things that happened last night, that's for sure.
I'm gonna talk about a weird thing that happened to my cat. And we're gonna talk about a little bit of stand-up comedy. And then we'll get right into this Scamanda story. So,
and then we also have the Showtime's Corner, or Showtime's.
It's Showtime, folks. Yes,
yes.
And you'll tell us a bit about that when we get to it.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start about my cat.
How is he doing now?
He's doing great. He's back to normal. So the story goes, So I got this big cast iron bathtub, and
Old school style.
so right after I get on my exercise machine, I let the water run so it fills up, and it just helps with the pores and everything when you have a nice bath
Oh, for
after
sure.
your workout. And so I'm in the bath, and I hear this weird noise, and it almost sounded like an inaudible woman's voice. Like you couldn't figure out what she was saying or what it was. But I swear I heard this, and it was coming from the house. And and then I was like, I questioned it, and I tried to make the sound with this tub, and because the water's running, and different, it's making an echo sound in the
Yeah.
cassette. I couldn't replicate that sound, and then I just kind of forgot about it. Finished my bath, rubber duckies, got to have a lot of fun. But so I get out of the bath, dry myself off, and me and my cat have this weird ritual where I sit down next to my cat and he likes to lick me a bit to dry me off. It's just his thing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find the cat. So I'm wandering around the house and I'm looking everywhere, and I'm like, I'm growing a little bit concerned. Where's my cat? And I shake the treats, and the cat comes out underneath the bed, and he's looking a little bit skittish. And I put the treats on the ground. He's staring at the front door of my living room, and he doesn't touch the treats. He just stared at the front door, and he decides to go back under the bed, leaving the treats all there. And and he was like this for like 24 hours. He couldn't, and every time he came to the living room, he just stared at the door. So this is my theory. I don't, and the thing is, he's never been like this ever.
Yeah.
So this is my theory, is that a ghost must have appeared in my house when that sound of the woman's voice came.
You know what? But for a cat to get that spooked up like that, like, good indications of treats alone. Cats, I've never met a cat where you pull out a treat, even if it just ate, they're going after those treats.
Well, the
99% of them.
temptations, they're highly addictive.
Oh yeah, no, I have not seen a cat when you pull out those temptations where they're refusing them. Like every cat I've ever owned, my sister's current cat, they're on them like white on a t-shirt or white on rice, I should say.
Yeah. So, I don't have proof of that, but that's my theory. That sound was a ghost and it appeared to him, and it freaked the shit out of him, and it took him a while to. And even the next day, I opened the door and said, "Hey, let's go play in the backyard." He wouldn't go out.
I remember I remember even just having that picture, and he did look very skittish and nervous in his eyes and stuff for that.
Oh
And,
yeah, I made a really cute picture, but with this
yeah.
text. But
And I was saying to you before, it seems like cats and dogs both have that kind of sense of something with the afterlife and stuff. Or the example I gave you, the time my grandpa just passed away, and we just got his urn or his ashes back into a box, sat it up in the closet. Some reason it looked like my dog Daisy knew whose ashes it was, because she was perfectly sat up, sitting tail wagging in the background and looking straight up at that box with her tail wagging and stuff for that. It's like she knew it was probably my grandpa Richard and stuff for that.
that is wild.
And I've seen video too. Not like many years ago, there was some kind Iraqi veteran or something that got killed in action. They had his casket. They had the American flag over his casket, the traditional military funeral. And this dog was brought to the funeral, and it walked up, went perfectly to and they had these little steps in front of the casket, and the dog walked up and laid him, propped himself right on top of the stairs, right against the casket of the fallen soldier. So it's yeah, animals do have that bond in a lot of sense when something goes south.
Matt B has a question. When was your house built, Canada Dry? Um, you've seen it. It's an old house.
Yeah, if you have a cast iron tub, that's an indication that it's a very old house.
I'm thinking like early 1900s.
I I would, you know what? I would
1910,
say
1920 maybe?
I would say safe bet. Yeah, that'd probably be close to 100-year-old house at least.
Yeah. So, um, so I guess let's do sports.
All right. I really want to talk about this today because it's one of the most amazing things. Nobody ever thought anybody was going to ever break Wayne Gretzky's all-time score record. I think it was 894. Well, Alex Ovechkin is one goal away from breaking it. As not only did he get it by one, not only yesterday did he get one goal to get closer, he also got scored a second goal to tie the record of Wayne Gretzky. So now it's any given day with Alex Ovechkin. It's not an if, it's a when he's going to break that record because I think there's probably still.
There was an open net goal by one of the.
He didn't want it. He didn't
Yeah,
want
that's
it.
what they talked about afterwards. He's like, I don't want an open net goal. And
You know what?
And Gretzky's like, I'd take all the open nets I could get.
You know what? I could see the exact reason why he doesn't want when he gets that record breaking goal. He wants to earn it. He wants to deserve
Well,
it.
the thing is, if you because you got a few empty netters on that list. There's
Oh yeah,
clear.
for sure. But you know what? You're never going to
One
forget.
when you're breaking the record, you don't want to have an empty netter.
Yeah, you want a memorable goal where it's like it was amazing. And I remember when Gretzky broke the record because that was against Vancouver Canucks. I think Kurt McLean was this.
This was for points, not goals.
No, it's goals.
I believe that no. I mean the Gordie Howe when he broke Gordie Howe's records, it was points.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's right. But I just remember the celebration, like Wayne earned that goal or whatever, or that point streak that time against the Kurt McLean. Like, and you can see it. Like, yeah,
I think Wayne Gretzky got all his records against Kurt McLean.
I think you actually might be right because I think there was one when Kurt was playing in Carolina. He got some kind of record then or something.
So,
but yeah, absolutely amazing.
I want to help Wayne break his record.
Take the dive. Okay. But honestly, I've always said too, as far as Ovechkin, I've always enjoyed his style. I could compare it similar to Mario Lemieux, where he would get physical. Like Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, I see closer to Gretzky, where he's a little bit of a softer player. I'm not trying to say they're wusses or anything, but they're not. Physicality is not in their game. They're straight going for goals and assists and trying to set up. They're set up, man. Well,
Ovechkin, Tiffany here. Blessed be the drink, Tiffany.
Blessed be the drink, Tiffany.
Yes.
So, with the Ovechkin, man, he's not scared to throw his body around and make checks, make plays. And hell, that guy's fought quite a few times too. He's not scared to throw one. From what I remember, I'm pretty sure he's fought a goon or two too. Which, as a superstar, you don't want to be fighting the guys that are paid just to be taking heads off. So
I like Alexander Ovechkin's personality as well.
Yes, he's always outgoing.
I remember a few years ago in the All-Star game, there was a draft. Like it's kind of like a schoolyard draft. And if you're last, you got the car.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be last because he wanted the car to give it away.
Yep.
To charity. So.
Yeah, and actually I remember he gave the vehicle to a single mother in Washington or something like that like lived in a very ghetto-ish area and stuff, and he absolutely made her day. Like I saw the video when he gave her the car. You could tell how appreciative she was for Alex to do that for her.
We're gonna have to address this. Tiffany's singing, I'm not drinking what you guys are drinking. So she's gonna have to talk to Brother Sheriff.
She's probably drinking that drink that looks like goat pee.
Well, Tiffany has been known to drink a goat pee or two.
That's true. That is very true.
That is true. we're gonna have to get her back to the asylum and get her back on the good old church drink. Blessed be the drink.
Blessed be the drink.
Moving along. Yeah, just want to say that was great for Alexander Ovechkin. And rumor has it he drinks some church drink along the way.
I think I heard that he had 2 bottles of church drink actually on the bench, and he took sips right before he got each goal.
It's wonderful stuff.
An inside source told me.
Well, the thing about church drink is if everyone was drinking it, it would solve everyone's problems.
It's a very majestic drink, that's for sure. According to Meta AI.
Tiffany claims that she doesn't drink the goat pee. So good for you, Tiffany. You're off the goat pee again, and you're back. You're back in the fold. Good for you. Let's give Tiffany a good round of applause. There you go, Tiffany. Good for you. Those triumphs, you can't overlook them. When you stop drinking goat pee for the first time.
And I heard that goat pee straight from the mountain of dew.
Okay, so Tiffany, you're now banned from chat for talking trash about the glorious drink. You will no longer be shown on this chat, and we will no longer acknowledge you. You are being shunned.
Blessed be the drink.
Blessed be the drink. You can't come on church drink and talk shit about church drink. But that's upsetting. That's grounds to be excommunicated.
I definitely think she needs to do a full day in the hole.
Yeah, we'll talk to Brother Sheriff and see what he thinks.
No, he'll come up with something. I always trust Brother Sheriff's judgment, especially when he's had a few church drinks.
Okay, so me and you were having a conversation the other day, and I told you about my stand-up comedy dream.
Yes, yeah, you did.
And so I haven't all worked out what it would be like. And then you helped me add a little piece to this. So the idea would be that as I'm doing stand-up comedy, I'm just like, hey guys, I'm really nervous. I'm new at this. And then as I'm saying this, here's my first joke. And then all of a sudden, my buddy, could be you, runs in and has a big old Slurpee in his hand and a chili dog from 7-Eleven. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, I asked for that 2 hours ago. And then you would say, well, I wanted to honor my commitment. Well, yeah, but I'm doing a show. And then you're like, well, you do want it or not? This cost me like $5. And I'm like, well, I guess. So I take it, and I take a big old drink of the Slurpee, and I get brain freeze. And I'm just like, for a second, I'm just sitting there. And then I was like, well, I better eat this too. and as I'm taking a bite, I get this chili cheese all over my shirt.
Just smeared all over your face too.
Well, I don't want it on my face.
When you eat a chili, you take those first few bites. That stuff just comes like the chili cheese sauce.
Well, actually, it'll work. It can be on my face. So I'm just trying. I don't have anything, so I'm just like trying to get it off with my hands, and my hands are just covered in chili cheese.
Just making it worse.
So I'm just like, and then I'm like, oh, it's okay, guys. And I take off my shirt, and I have the exact same shirt on underneath, and I use the old shirt to wipe my hands and my beard, and then I do my jokes and my stand-up routine.
I think it's funny. That's why at first when you just said hot dog, I'm like, no, it's got to be a chili cheese dog.
Yeah, I like that ad because then
just make
everything. The comedy of you just sitting there dealing with like, what do I do?
It's funny too. It reminds me of this one like when I went to the underground comedy show where it's a bunch of local amateur comedians. This one guy had a routine last year, a couple of years ago. He had a mask on, gloves, brought out those Windex wipes or whatever you call them, or Lysol wipes, and then some spray. So he sprays the microphone, wipes it down with his. Like he made it seem to put the rubber gloves on first, wipe the mask down. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm decontaminating the area." Well, thank you very much. And he pretend like the show was his set was over right there and then after he cleaned up the mic and stuff. Like, I was pretty funny. I'm like, man, to go through that, to actually grab a bunch of props, set the opener, set the tone right there and then.
Yeah, and like the part where you're like, I'm feeling nervous, and people are like, oh, this is gonna be bad. But then you just turn it up.
The crowd's ready to eat you alive if you kind of mention you're nervous and stuff like that. Doesn't matter
I'm just
where
really
you go.
nervous, guys. So just bear with me. And then it's all performance piece at the beginning, and then you go into the stand up routine.
And you know what? Comedy.
Yeah, Tiffany, this isn't like a dream where you're sleeping dream. This is a dream where you want to perform.
Hey, some people do. I've always wanted to perform at Carnegie Hall. No kidding.
So you have a segment here called "It's Showtime, folks."
For this issue, it's Showtime, folks. This is a pretty wild story that was just brought to my attention the other day. I've never heard about it until recent. It's so crazy that it involves
a true story from history.
Yeah, it's so crazy that it involves one of the most well-known leaders and conquerors back in the day that like retreat. So in 1807, Napoleon, what was it? Napoleon went to, what is it called again? The treaties of Tilst, or what? How do they? Or I can't remember where they were, but so Napoleon goes. There's a whole bunch of rabbits there, like 3,000 or so rabbits.
Yeah, so there's a treaty for the war that they're having with France.
That was it. Yeah, the treaty. Yeah, but so as they show up to go and take care of this treaty, they decide to go on a rabbit hunt together. The way to, hey, let's all do a team event to show us all combined. Well, them going after a bunny hunt turned the other way around where the bunnies decided to start hunting them. I've never even heard rabbits being so rabid. Well,
the thing is, the mistake they made was instead of just going after wild bunnies, they thought it would be they cheat and find domestic bunnies.
From the local farmers.
Yeah, and these are pet bunnies.
Yeah, they're not.
The bunnies think that they're going to get fed,
but no food equals humans turn into food. But I've never the fact these bunnies charged Napoleon, a famous conqueror, one of the major part of history. And this guy has been in wars, been shot at, and yet is running around from a little 10-pound ball. Well, I mean, there's multiple of them, but the fact that there's lots of them.
Bunnies were charging at me.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard rabbits ever doing such a thing, which is crazy too. Like, it's really, really. But then again, 1800s, a lot different time. So
these bunnies must be starving.
Yeah, that too. But also, domesticated rabbits back in 1800 are probably a lot different from the domesticated rabbits in 2025 or even in 1900s.
Now, did you know that Napoleon wasn't actually short at that time?
Yeah, 5'8". That's
5'6".
or 5'6". I mean, half the AFW staff is about that height. To be fair,
yeah, Napoleon. That was the average height back in the day. People
yeah,
weren't really.
I don't get how they got this the whole Napoleon complex. That whole that's the famous term for somebody that's short. Napoleon complex.
Well,
It's like,
we look back now and we think he's the shortest, one of the shortest leaders.
that's fair. That's fair to say. Yeah,
But at the time, no one really thought of him as that.
I mean, those times, like literally, you would have thought 5'6" was almost the average because you weren't breeding. I mean, there was tall people, but over time, one tall person hooks up with a muscular person and creates a super kid, right? Like that's kind of what happened over time. But you would think that like back then, 5'6" would have been the normal standard. But I guess in different people's, and also too back then we did not have photography. We did not have cameras. We did not. The only there was no real media except for local news press. That's the old typewriter printing press style. So there was not a lot of exposure. So he could have went to one area where everybody's 6 foot and they looked at him like he's short.
Listen, Showtime, brother Showtime. I have one thing to say about this. All hail the bunny.
All hail the bunny.
All hail the bunny. And it's Easter. We all know Easter's coming up.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Good Friday. That's going to be a fun weekend for me. I'm sorry, but I might have to escape the walls temporarily on that.
You're going to get pre-lashes before you go out then.
That's fair.
I'm definitely going to get everyone in our compound. We're going to get them some chocolate. Go celebrate.
You know what's funny? I thought it's funny you mentioned chocolate because when you're talking about the chili dog scene, I don't know if you ever seen the prequel to Dumb and Dumberer, where
yes, I have.
And that scene where he was sitting on a heater with the melted chocolate, and the Hershey bar started melting, and then all of a sudden he's trying to like clean up, but he's just smearing chocolate all over that girl's house and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, Bob Saget is the dad.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's shit everywhere.
Yeah, he actually thought it was legit shit. It was so sweet.
I might have to watch that. Like the one that isn't with Jim Carrey and what's his name?
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah. The one that there's three, and the second one is not with the main guys.
Yeah, no, it took place where they were teenagers. It was them growing up. Yeah. And you know what? That wasn't that bad of a movie as I thought it would be. Because I thought, oh no, it's got nothing to do with Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. They're just kind of whoring out the Dumb and Dumber name and series. But then I'm like, no, especially the Bob Saget part where he's like, there's shit everywhere.
That line is so good.
And in the ending, when all of a sudden, I think it's sewer erupt or whatever, Bob Saget's driving, and all of a sudden he just sees him covered in all this muck, and he's like, you could just see he's having a PTS flashback, and Bob Saget's head is thinking, is like, well, yeah, because the stuff gets all over his car and stuff like that. That's right.
Yeah, that was a reoccurring theme in the movie.
That was pretty funny. I still got to see the third. I still haven't had a chance to see the last one with Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey.
Yeah, give it a watch. I don't remember. I see that's the good thing about getting older. You can watch movies where you're like, I don't remember anything. Especially if you've suffered some concussions. We've talked about this before.
I have suffered many concussions over the years. And then or also the fact is I have plans to see a movie. And then I just completely forget because I go, I'll wait for it to come on the streaming service, Netflix or Crave.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if it doesn't flash up on the latest titles or whatever, I just completely forget.
All right, let's get into why we're here. The main topic. We're going to be talking about Scamanda. And now you ask, what is Scamanda? Why is it called Scamanda? It's because there's a podcast that was named Scamanda. And this is the person that did the investigating into Amanda Riley. And
And then it turned into a TV series too later.
Yes, it also got put onto ABC, and in Canada, it's on Disney Plus. In America, I believe it's on Hulu. Um, so Amanda, she faked a dramatic cancer journey for nearly a decade. I didn't realize this when I watched the documentary that this took place over like 8 years.
Yeah, the way I originally thought so, it was like, oh, this was only like when I first heard it actually in the news, I thought, oh, this was only a couple year things. I was surprised that it almost went on a full decade.
Um, so yeah, she was soliciting from loved ones and strangers, and she raked in way over $100,000 that she lied and said it was for medical bills. And plus, she got trips, gifts, and tickets to events, free babysitting. Like,
Well,
but it all started when Amanda met Corey Riley and his wife when she was a 17-year-old cheerleader.
yeah, that's when she was known as Amanda Moreni back then. Her maiden name, or her given name from her.
So they hired Amanda to teach the Alita's daughter, who was being treated for cancer and was immune compromised. And at the time, Corey was 29, and he and Aletta shared a 6-month daughter named Jessa. And so Amanda starts using these fake illnesses to get out of work while she's in college.
Yeah.
So this kind of makes me think she's already doing this lie to get out of work. Sorry, I have something, blah, blah, blah. And then she sees Jessa with cancer.
And all the attention she's getting.
And so I think that she just like computes those two things. And then she has this friend who works for a cancer charity.
Yeah.
And she must have, oh, so how much do you make doing this? And she's like, click, cha-ching, right?
Yeah. It is crazy how that all parlayed together. The fact that she was babysitting the family, sees this sick girl, gets inspired in an evil way. Like this poor girl being used, like the poor girl that was suffering, like the 6-month-old or whatever, suffering, what was it, leukemia or something like that, I believe? Or Hodgkin's disease?
It was something that she beat. So, oh.
but the fact that like, so this girl, like she's using this little girl she's babysitting for as her inspiration, which is kind of like really shows how twisted this woman is as we start getting more and more about into her.
So, Corey and Alita divorce. This is the weird part. And now he's marrying the babysitter.
And sadly, this is not the first time you hear a story like that. But it's like she maybe even kind of got involved for them to get divorced. Not saying that
she could have been
not saying that not saying that she was cheating with him at the time or whatever while he was still married, but just planting the seeds there to see I'm this wholesome girl and now you're watching me get older.
The exes were like Amanda and Alita, they were cordial at first, and then Corey and Amanda filed for full custody of Jessa, who Amanda referred to as her bonus daughter.
Yeah,
And
that
they're like making up all sorts of lies about Alita, saying she's an unfit mother, and
totally gaslighting the judges and all the lawyers involved. And sadly, that case happens way too much again. Unfortunately, usually it's the father that has all these lies that are told about them or saying that they're unfit, and then the mother gets full custody or majority custody, and now this person's got to pay out of their yin yang.
so I'm not sure what happens here, but Amanda starts a blog in 2012 called Lymphoma Can Suck It. And she's chronicling her battle with Hodgkin's lymphoma, a form of blood cancer that she claimed to have, being diagnosed with the condition when she gave birth to her first son.
That's where that's where it truly all begins, where the absolute downfall, where she really starts building, and it's going to get more crazier and crazier as we go on.
So I think it's the church was called Family Community Church,
Yes, I believe so.
and it was like a big church.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this is one of those mega churches in the United States.
something similar to like the Righteous Gemstones would have.
Yes, I love that show. By the way,
Oh, I can't wait to start watching the final season.
I can't wait till we play Bible bumpers on here. Misbehaving.
You know, you got to get what's her face on her, Dollywood, when that happens.
Yes. So they joined this family community church, and she's got a right personality. Like she's just got a winning personality.
You
And
look at her too, and she has an innocent looking face to her too. So
yeah,
you can't. Her look to her is not only just because she's a pretty girl, but she's just got that sweet, innocent girl next door vibe to her. Just when you look at her, in her pictures and stuff like that, like this girl would never do you wrong, kind of look.
so she announces to the church that she's got a cancer diagnosis, and she's using it to garner all this sympathy and attention and financial support from the church members. She even did this testimony where she's standing on stage and she says this: "Don't stop believing that God has your miracle, because it would be a shame if you missed it." Like that tugs at your faith. You're like, because you're like, well, there's this, and this standing in my way in my life, and I need something like this. I need that job, or you need something. And you're like, when you hear something like this, you're like, it inspires, because she's got cancer and God's working for her. She's saying God's working for her. And you're like, well, if God works for her, he can work for me too.
It's just the fact, and then also too, it's just that gaslighting the people to really believe her, especially when she's using God and all that. That's getting people to think, oh, this poor girl. So much, we got to show her so much sympathy and stuff like that. When really, she's using it to just.
Well, but it's what I also think is that she must have thought when she came up with this, who's going to question your cancer? It's in bad taste if you're wrong.
Who's going to question a good old Christian girl too?
Yeah.
And during that time, the first time, that actually parlayed her through the network to have a meet and greet with Leanne Rimes
Right.
and receiving a signed guitar from Leanne Rimes too, which that's like Leanne Rimes is pretty well known. She does not need to do meet like that because she's like semi-retired at like that time, the 2010 or about 2012 era. She was kind of out of the scene completely. Wasn't really making albums, wasn't really touring. She was just,
Oh, she's
and again,
semi-retired.
yeah, she was so for her like this obviously showed like Leanne Rimes heartstrings must have been pulled right there to then just to be able to go, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go visit this poor girl. Unfortunately, on bad pretenses, but it just goes to show the type of woman that Leanne Rimes is, and I've always got respect for her, and I think she's also a very faithful person. I do recall too, like she's heavily involved in the Christian scene.
Actually, I will address this a little bit. I was wondering how she got away with this. So when she's going to the hospital, um, she would just she would get pictures taken with an oxygen tank saying she's fainting and she needs and they're going to hook her up with an IV, or she'd say she's dehydrated, or she'd just walk around for the hospital for a while.
Or oh, actually, it doesn't work as well. But there's that one picture of her where, yeah, it shows her with the tubes in her nose, heart monitor. She's got a towel on her head, laying in one of these hospital beds, like almost completely disclothed.
And apparently they bought oxygen from these medical stores.
Yeah, that I that's like pretty like shows she had to invest some of this money to make more money in the long run.
Yeah. But like that, it just goes to show like you can like, and the other thing is she was using an app um that what was it called?
Oh, I'll see if I have it.
Follow My Symptoms, or
Trying to find that. I can't find the name of that app.
yeah, but there's an app that you can put on her blog. Matt goes, she might move to desert island and build a house there.
No, she's in a special retreat where it's cemented walls and silver bars attached to it.
Yes, those special the special compounds.
Yeah.
Um,
And then now we get to 2014 with the second child, where she's now pulling the same thing but even harder. Claiming, then she went as far as to claim that she's going through chemotherapy as they left, or was it shortly after or just before having the second child? And then she went as far this time around, shaved head to really sell that she's going through the therapy and all that. So then now more church members are seeing her with no hair, really believing, oh, this poor girl is really sick. We really got to pray for her and help cover her expenses.
okay, the one that was really disgusting to me is that they're having a testimony time, where you go around past the mic and
Yes.
just hear about God's doing in your life. And so she's giving a testimony, but then she cuts it short. I said, I need to get water. I'm feeling kind of dizzy or something like that. I'm faint of breath. And so she goes out and they continue on the testimony with other people. And as she's walking back to her seat, she collapses onto the ground and pisses herself.
That she's almost like the Vince McMahon of church scams.
Well, like, no one's going to piss themselves on purpose.
You would think.
Yeah, you would think. It's just like, and like the whole church service stops and is now focused on her.
And a church that size
Everyone's
is
just praying for her.
probably close to 1,000 people of this church size too, all focused on her. Like that's pretty wild.
Yeah, to me, that was the most outlandish thing about that.
And I mean, sadly, if you want to scam people and make them think there's something extremely wrong with you, that was probably one of the best moves she could use from the playbook to get everybody to really believe her.
Yeah, because everyone kind of experienced it where they're all like, there's one girl who's new in her faith, and she's like, I don't pray. I'm new at this, but she's like, I knew that I was going to do what everyone else did and reach out and pray for her because it was so important.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's just like that. Oh, I don't know what I would like if I was in that exact scene. I would probably buy it too. I think, oh, this like I mean, yeah, I've been places before somebody's pissed themselves, but that's because they've usually been on the influence of something.
yes.
They're downtown Vancouver where these people were not right in their minds to begin with.
Well, yeah,
But
because she's in a place where everyone's supposed to be like family, right?
exactly. And that's just like she like the fact that she did this entire act job and was able to keep character the whole time while you have all these eyes locked onto you. Like, wow. Like, it kind of just shows like not only just sociopathic, but just she has some kind of personality where she could actually perfectly disconnect. And yeah, like to go as far to piss yourself, that's pretty
The app
hardcore.
is called Follow My Health, so you can fill in whatever you want there.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So, um,
Like I said, who in a church is going to question why she pissed herself? That besides the fact, oh, we believe she's sick. Like everybody's in the good faith. They're not going to sit there and go, oh no, I don't believe this at all.
so she has one friend that her and her husband they're hanging out of their house. They have a pool. You know, they're spending a lot of time together, and she had some suspicion, but she's like, but at the same time, you're like, you feel bad because you're like, who am I to question her cancer? And that's what she was going through. She's
Yeah,
like, you feel bad at yourself for questioning it. This is your
exactly.
friend. This is your friend. So uh, it really came crashing down, started to crash down on Amanda when she asked this friend for $10,000. Now, you're not getting $10,000 out of me without me questioning what is the money going for. And it actually raised her suspicion level because like now you got my 10 grand.
And then not only that, during that exact time, her and the husband Corey went after Alita for more child support money. Even though Amanda was receiving free trips, free babysitting, meals, gift cards, the whole 9 yards, the fact that she still had the audacity. Oh, well, we shunned this mother that I used to work for out of the children's lives, and I'm getting all this gifts and money, but that's not good enough. So it shows greed. It shows a lot of greed on her behalf too to go after now the mother that the ex-wife, like to go after her for that. That's truly sickening and evil.
So her friend uh, becomes the whistleblower, and I guess she contacts this podcaster, and I think the name is Muschiatello.
Well, and then also we're almost skipping steps too because we're also forgetting the part she had jobs too. And she was a substitute teacher
That's
at
right.
the Valley Christian School in San Jose through 2000, originally 2016 to 2017. then became an English teacher, but then started using bogus medical treatments for her
Now,
having to miss
this is
work.
interesting that you brought this up because there was a real cancer, someone fighting cancer at that school, a teacher.
Yeah,
And so she's saying the same, like this woman comes out and says, I have cancer. And then all of a sudden, Amanda's like, oh, I need to also say something about my cancer. And steals focus off the real cancer victim.
yeah, like that. Like, more we get into the details, it's like the more evil this girl is. Like, holy crap! Like the fact that like somebody that actually needs probably could use the medical expenses, could use donations, could use meal cards and all that. Someone that actually is really sick, and you're gonna steal. You're gonna well, I wouldn't exactly say steal, but
Oh, yeah, you're stealing.
yeah, I guess yeah. But I mean, there was a term I was trying to use for that, but
Fraud.
but yeah, pretty much taken away what could have gone to this girl.
Yeah.
Like she could have got probably a lot more out of like the actual sick girl could have probably got a lot more out of it if Amanda wasn't taking focus away.
So Moschiatello starts investigating, and Amanda is freaked out now, but she's still got her blog, still doing her thing.
Still
But
shaving her head
yes,
or her
but
hair's
but the suspicion is starting to come. Things are starting to come unwound, and she seeks to actually um, put an injunction against Moschiatello that she's harassing her and causing. But the judge throws it out.
slander. Yeah,
Yeah,
and all
the
that.
judge throws it out, and Moschiatello, and now the FBI are involved, and in 2020, the IRS Special Investigation Arlette Lyons Lee officially charged Amanda with wire fraud.
And that's when they find out she falsified letters from doctors, falsified medical records, medical bills, and certifications. All got exposed at that time once they started digging into her.
So, Judge Freeman, let's skip to the end here. Judge Freeman told Amanda that she believed she was scammed again and that she found the public to be at a significant risk from her, noting that the maximum sentence was 20 years in prison. She sentenced Amanda to 5 years in prison with 3 years of supervised probation and to pay restitution plus interest to all 349 donators. But guess who gets off scot-free?
Her.
Corey Riley, her
All
husband.
yeah.
Because he didn't do any of it. He was just the faithful rock husband.
Now my question is, did he know?
He definitely knew.
He had to. He like you would know if your partner is going through these cancer treatments or not, unless you really are dumb, blind, and muted, or who knows? Maybe I don't know what this guy's job is. Maybe he's gone for I don't know what this guy's career was or anything like that or how he lives. But yeah, you would think he should have known something when she's saying that, telling people, oh, she's got to go through this chemo treatments right there and then.
So type 3 cancer, your chances of making it out are not good.
That's right. Yeah. I know that from losing many family members over the years.
Like type 4, you're done. You've got type 4.
Yeah, multiple grandparents, and I'm pretty sure when my uncle passed away, his was type 3, so there was no coming back for him.
Yeah, and you just don't have a shaved head. Your face is sunken in. You're skinny. You know.
Well, my uncle, he's a big guy, like 300 pounds ish, and yeah, near those last few months, he was really sunken in. Belly was starting to go sink in, and it was literally watching a man decay right in front of my eyes.
So yeah, I think Corey definitely was part of it, and he's a scuzz bucket too.
Well, the fact that he went along with getting more child support payments,
Yeah.
it's like he knew deep down inside, and then it didn't sound like they were financially poor at all, even before getting all this money. So it's like that guy's probably is just as guilty as she is, and should be held for all this shit stuff too.
But here's the thing: they probably could have got away with it all.
If it wasn't for one person, luckily.
Well, no, they got greedy.
Well, yeah,
You stay under the radar. Don't go asking people. Like when you approach someone and ask them for a certain amount of money, that's putting heat on yourself.
absolutely.
Well, if you're just getting it over your internet thing,
Sorry, what was that?
If you're just using your blog and people are donating that way,
Yeah, it probably would have been no questions asked.
and like they should have cut it off at a certain point.
But you know what?
I'm free, look at me, and then you're an inspiration.
You know what though? This is just the general problem with society these days with greed too, though. Like you can look at all these billionaires. It's like, oh well, $1 billion isn't enough. I need to make $2 billion, and a lot of times they aren't doing it the nicest way possible. Screwing work. Say if a CEO wants a bonus. Oh hey, you know what? We're gonna lay off 100 workers from this factory or whatever, so I could go get my bonus. That actually happened. Remember when Sears shut down in Canada? And all this money that was supposed to go to like the actual workers, especially they were getting screwed out of their old holiday pay, among a lot of other things and stuff for that. And what happened was because the CEOs and stuff for the management that were involved made sure they got their payday, millions, screwing these innocent people that already lost their job working for and people that are like my mom's cousin used to work for one of the Sears for many years, 20 years or something.
Canada anymore?
No, there's I think they actually shut right down the state. It started here, and I think now they're gone in the States completely too.
Wow.
So and then even like
this is kind of funny. It's kind of related.
Yeah.
So this corporation, I don't know what it was, but there was this corporation, and they wanted to use AI to see what they should use to cost cut and where the cost cutting. And AI said you should trim off the top from all your bonuses to pay the staff.
They didn't like that answer.
All right, this app is trash. and they got a different AI after that.
Dude, and you even think you look at all these charities too, UNICEF or Red Cross and stuff. Some of these people that are CEOs are making millions, like 5 million and 10 million dollars, and it's like, well, if this guy's getting X amount, where's his money going back to the charities itself for the people that actually need it? The Red Cross, especially when a disaster happens, Red Crosses are always there. They like tornadoes or whatever in the States or any type of thing like that. So it's like, and then UNICEF is all about helping the poor children across the world and stuff for that. And it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. Why does somebody need to get $5 or $10 million a year?
Oh yeah, like a lot of these charities, before it gets there, everyone's getting their cut.
Yeah.
And then this is what goes, just this handful. And these guys are all like over here.
Well, yeah, I remember collecting the unit, like as a kid, Halloween, UNICEF, and you get pennies and stuff for that. Literally, it almost just seems like pennies are going back to these charities while the rest are getting, big checks. And I mean, even BC Trans is a great example too, because like you hear their CEOs are getting big paydays, but yet you keep hearing, oh, we don't have funding to get more buses, or we're going to have to get rid of certain routes. And like South Delta's in very verge of losing a couple main routes. And it's like a service that people actually need, especially seniors.
Yeah, I do think that like politicians and CEOs, they're paid way too much.
Absolutely.
Like they can make a good living. They don't need to be millionaires.
Well, and I don't want to get into politics, but Trudeau, though, he's getting $10 million, what you call it, each year now. Pension, $10 million pension
Yeah,
each
like I
year.
think, yeah, like let's just talk about money. Like, sure, they should get a nice livable wage, but
Yeah, I fully agree with that. Especially they did a service,
yeah,
you led the countries,
yeah.
but $10 million a year for the rest of your life. He's only what, in his 50s now?
Oh yeah, we're stuck paying Justin forever.
Yeah. So
But
think
the
about
thing
it.
is,
That's
they
$100
won't
million,
do it.
$100 million in 10 years.
Yeah, and they're not going to get rid of that because the politicians are like, no, like, what about us? Like, they're not going to cut the. That's the
And you
thing.
know what? And in the States too, it's not they got greedy. They got rules where you literally, it'd be me and you did these things, it'd be called insider trading.
Yeah.
But if you're a politician, like Martha Stewart got busted for insider trading 10, 15 years ago and actually had to serve jail time. And it wasn't even like she didn't even con that much money or nothing. And it wasn't even like she.
Oh yeah, they were headhunting Martha to try to make an example.
Meanwhile, I can't use a politician for example, but the U.S. Senate, you hear U.S. senators is like they only had like couple $100,000 net worth before going in, and now all of a sudden they $40 million net worth, $50 million net worth. It's like, well, because they're doing things like inside and trading because they knew certain stocks were going to crumble, and they got the knowledge, and in fact they're going to be doing a Senate, and they were able to go stock dump or whatever, right? Like it's crazy. It's crazy how these rules are, and it just goes back to Scamanda, where there's sadly rules that almost allow people to be scammers like this.
And you know what I feel like? I feel like this is a knowledge is power moment.
Knowledge is power.
So just remember, if you got a scam going, and you're doing okay, cut it
Maybe
off after you've reached a certain amount of money, and you won't get caught.
just take a little bit out. Just take a little bit out of your mom's purse. Don't take the entire stack of bills out of your mom's purse.
I did this with cookies when I was a kid. You take one cookie from the middle row,
Yeah,
and no one knows.
not until they get halfway through the bag.
Yeah,
Or just like back in the day, you hear kids that used to fill up their parents' liquor bottles. Oh, there's a bottle of vodka, and then add a little bit of water. Add a little bit of water till the one day the parent that doesn't drinks once in a blue moon has a social gather, and it's like this vodka is what? This vodka tastes like water.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I think it's been a great show. Anything you want to add?
That you know what, in this world, do not be using faith to pull scams. But it's disgusting and it's appalling. And you know what? In the long run, it's all going to come back to you. Karma's a bitch. That's for sure.
Yeah, you can run on for a long time, but sooner or later, gotta cut you down. With
And you
that,
know what I like is there's been a lot of church leaders over the years that got greedy and stuff for that and were stealing. And you know what? I'm glad when they get busted. It's like, you know what? You used faith to steal from people, innocent people that are hardworking Joes. Some probably don't even have a lot of money and they're still donating because of their faith, right?
yeah, we're just selling church drink.
Well, yeah.
Like we're just selling church drink. We're not trying to scam anyone. We're just drink our drink. There you go.
And actually, that church drink really did help bring me alive today. I'm not kidding you, because I was like a dog's ass moments before the show started.
So whether you need to lose weight or cure a hangover, church drink is a part of this balanced diet. Yes, it's got the tape on it because it's a prototype.
That's right. Yeah, whoever dropped it off the door made sure that I knew it was church drink, and I thank him very much for the.
Yeah,
one of
you
the,
just want to send an empty bottle, right?
Yeah, whoever the brother and sister was that did that, thank you very much. I appreciate it, because at least I know it wasn't rat poison.
Yeah, and it's not goat piss like Tiff drinks.
Yeah, Mountain Dew goat piss.
Mountain Dew goat piss. I feel it's a shirt.
Oh my
Goat
god!
piss in the Mountain Dew font.
Hey, we're a t-shirt company that does podcast, right?
Yes. With that being said, on behalf of Brother Showtime, on behalf of myself, Brother Canada Dry, blessed be the drink.
Blessed be the drink.
And raise your fist in the air. Put the devil in a sharpshooter and just keep fighting. Church drink, everybody get your church drink.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Tony Schiavone for the All Fan Wrestling Network.
I wasn't expecting that outro.